Hey guys, welcome to our review of Attack on Titan episode 44. I'm your host, Makotoa, and with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze.
And I've got my headphones in the wrong place, but who cares? That's an easy fix. Holy crud, this episode, dude. Wow.
Yeah. And honestly, this season, because apart from the first three setup episodes, I feel like we've had a climactic scene in every single one of them. When oh my gosh. And
There's so much to this episode because the first half of it was just pure action with, Levi's squad taking out these, I had no idea how they're going to do it, And
yeah,
then to use the smoke screen, that was so brilliant. Oh, it was perfect.
yeah. And at first it was just just a generic, smoke screen ambush type of thing. But no, Armin kind of analyzed that
Has it?
they can only go in the direction that they're shooting in.
Yes.
So if they're going in one direction, they can't shoot in it, and if they can't see where they're going, then it really makes it difficult to kind of navigate. Whereas the 3D maneuver gear can kind of go anywhere, and
Yeah.
their range of attack is kind of a lot more
Yeah.
flexible. I was like, huh, well that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And the fight scene itself was also spectacular. And I think towards the latter end, we kind of see Hanji kind of get incapacitated. I'm not sure if she's gravely injured. It didn't look
Ugh.
like it. It
Yeah.
sort of felt like it because everyone was like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
Hanji."
Oh my
Almost,
gosh. Oh, props to our boy Gene, for actually going through with it, Like, for a second, you wonder, is he going to hesitate? No, not this time. Off with that guy's head.
I thought they were gonna do a fake out where when he was about to go slash at them, they did that whole thing where, oh, here's their weaknesses and stuff. I thought he was gonna disable the maneuver gear, but he actually
Yeah,
went for the neck, and I
No,
was like,
you got to go for the kill, man. They got the guns, even if they... No, if... Yeah, no, there's no... Nope. And I gotta say, not just him, but Potato Girl coming in with that arrow kill when
I mean,
Connie was in danger. Oh my
she's always been a hunter, so
gosh. Yeah, it makes sense, but I gotta say, when Connie was in danger from that girl, she needed to die. And when that arrow hit, I'm like, go to hell. Die. I
yeah,
don't know, man. The whole presentation, animation, soundtrack for this episode, throughout, especially the fight scene.
yeah,
Wow, that got me so pumped.
yeah. They even had some rap in there,
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of English vocals as well. So I understood what was kind of going on.
yeah.
Got me hyped. But
Oh gosh.
despite how good the first half was, I was really entertained. Levi versus
Right, Kenny.
Kenny. I was about to say Billy. I'm like, no, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny. That was also pretty good. It kind of ended in a stalemate because
Yeah,
Hanji kind of
yeah.
distracted everyone. But despite all that, despite Levi versus Kenny, that wasn't even the biggest part of the episode.
Right. Holy
like
crud.
I was on the edge of my seat
Ugh.
with that whole Eren, Historia, and Rod race
Yeah.
confrontation.
Yeah, and I've just been noticing more and more as we watch this guy, her father, that he has this face that he's got those moments where he's just dead-eyed and he's like, I'm so sick of you. I'm going to manipulate you as best I can. But then he's also got enough he's not completely evil looking. So at times you're kind of like, oh, is he telling the truth? It's hard to tell what part of it is truth and what's twisted. Because I feel like there is a lot of truth in it, what he's telling, but I feel like he's twisting parts. His brother was on the altar. He didn't look like he wanted to be there, he looks up in terror at what's about to happen. Why does he need to be chained up if he's, doing this willingly, right? So I get the feeling that this guy is just a manipulator, and I'm glad. I mean, I don't want to jump to that point yet, but this guy was, he was not pulling any stops here with his manipulation game of Krista. Or Historia, but she was like gung ho. It was surprising when she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat Aaron and get my sister back. Like, let's go. Come on, chop chop." Oh
Yeah, and then oh man, when Aaron was just like, yeah, fine, like do it, because
yeah,
I've done so many wrong things. Just like my whole existence is wrong.
right.
And like the second, like the way it resonated with Historia's backstory, like I loved when they gave her backstory in the first place, and
Yeah.
the way it kind of like resonated with that, I actually felt for like Historia. I'm like, oh geez,
Oh,
it's
I
like
didn't even think about that connection. You're right, because she was unwanted. She's the unwanted stepchild.
yeah, and
Holy
like that,
crud.
I was like, dang, that is like a straight Naruto style talk no jutsu where everyone has like a similar backstory to
Oh
him.
my gosh.
Like Aaron had that, and
Oh my gosh. When you were saying that, I'm like, I mean, it's talk no jutsu, but I don't see the correlation between, the two of them. And then now I see it. Wow. I mean, like, he wasn't even trying to, like, actually guilt trip her, but he ended up doing it anyways. Oh, that was good.
yeah,
Wow.
and I love the way that it kind of reminded Historia about like her life. She's kind of been manipulated and kind of like following, other people's guidance on how to live her life, and she's never really done it on her own. And when you kind of get like the flashbacks of Ymir, like
Ymir, yeah.
in Ymir in season two, when all she wanted a story to do was to live her life the way she wanted to,
Yeah,
be
because
her
she
own
was doing it
person.
fake, right? She was
Yeah,
being Krista, the little nice girl from the storybook, right? She was
yeah,
trying to be that kind of person. But then, even a few episodes back when Krista has that conversation with Aaron, she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not the nice girl that you thought I was." And he's like, "I like you better this way, you know? You're not fake anymore." And it's like,
yeah,
oh, she even flashes back to that moment too because it meant a lot to her. And then, like, he's the father's still trying to manipulate her like crazy, and then she has that Ymir flashback. Oh man! And then the music kicks in when she smashes that vial. Oh, it was so good. And I love how, like, she wasn't like, immediate. I love that she came to some logical conclusion. Like, you're just manipulating people and using that as your excuse for why you're doing all this crap. And it's like, why didn't you save everybody in the past 100 years that you had all this knowledge and power? Huh? Oh, well, it's like, I don't know how much of that story's true about the like, I get the feeling that it is mostly true, and that his brother was chosen over him to, like, inherit the god powers, and he was jealous or something. I don't know, but I feel like we'll find out more about that later somehow.
yeah,
Although he just did this weird transformation, I don't know if he's gonna actually survive this. To be honest, so we might get kind of like stilted on the backstory till we eventually find out what happened to Aaron's basement or whatever. But, like, which
yeah,
is still a goal of the series that we have kind of sidetracked it on. But we haven't
yeah.
even talked about Kenny's intervention, because if Kenny didn't show up and be like, "Hey, buddy, what, you mean I can't eat Aaron and turn into, like, the the Jinchuriki?" Like,
Yeah, like I feel like that was a little bit something that wasn't as fleshed out, but probably doesn't need to, because they
mm-hmm.
gave us enough. Like the whole reason that he's even kind of listening to Rod Race in the first place was because his brother was the one that like probably adopted him.
Yeah.
So he kind of like had that loyalty, but now that he's kind of heard that, Rod Race has just been like using everyone around him, including
Yeah,
um
the brother.
his younger brother that Kenny was close to.
Yep.
Now I just like, you know what? Like I knew you were kind of like doing all this, so
Oh, wow.
like I
Wow.
fully don't understand like why he kind of just like let him go, why he didn't just like blow his brains out. But there might be other stuff that isn't really
Yeah.
relevant
It
right
might, like,
now.
he seems like he's realized that everything going on is much bigger than he is,
Yeah,
and that, like, his decisions aren't gonna really amount to much in the long run or whatever, but to clear his own conscience, he's like, no, at least, let's make this a fair fight, and he did the whole thing trying to get Eren to transform. Didn't
Yeah,
work.
like there was no use in him just doing that because it was just
I've already seen a lot of comments by people like on the Crunchyroll little chat, and even like the little chat you can have with the download for the episode, and I can't remember the site that we use, but like people are like, oh, Eren, he totally wussed out, and what a little beep, and all that jazz, and it's like, come on, like he just had a life crisis where he ate his own father, and
he did not just have one life
it
crisis,
was
Michael.
more than
He
one,
has
buddy. Like,
he has so many memories inside of him that he probably feels really shitty about.
he remembers the entire scenario of his father eating, Historia's sister too, which must feel really great. And
Probably has the memories of that too.
like all of this stuff. Come on, have a little bit of I don't know,
Sympathy.
sympathy or understanding for the poor guy. So I'm sure Eren will come to his senses eventually. Like, I love how Historia knocked him over the head, and I love Historia's just like little temper tantrum at the end of this episode
Yeah.
after she freaking flips her own father because he was gonna strangle her to death or something for not like listening to him or whatever. He finally shows his true colors, and then she's like, oh nope, I have training, I know how to do that. Oh, good
Yeah.
stuff.
I really want to see how this kind of like unfolds. And honestly, the way that I mean, Eren has always been a crybaby for this entire series,
That's
but the way
true.
like Historia kind of gave him shit for it, I somewhat chip the two now. And
Oh my.
honestly, just like in general, just like aside from that, I really enjoy Historia's character right now. She's just not only she's like actually important to the plot, like all the stuff that she kind of brings with her right
Yeah.
now, it just, whew, I
Yeah.
don't even know.
I don't want to like make this review like super long, but I just like I can't help but feel this reoccurring thought come to my head that when we were introduced to Historia, she was such a side character. Like not even the side character, she's like a side character.
Yeah,
She was like a gimmick character. She was the nice girl who helped Sasha not starve to death by sharing her potatoes, you know? And then it's funny because Sasha actually worshipped her as God, like as a little joke, and now it's like we're full circle. She could have taken the serum and get the God powers. Oh my gosh, we came this far. Wow. That little dynamic with Ymir and stuff. Who knew it would come this far? It is a wild ride to think about it like that.
yeah, but
Never
honestly,
would
like
have guessed.
now that I think about it, that whole syringe that he had in the first place,
Yeah.
who's was that like the spinal fluid? Because I think that's how they transform or inherit the Titan powers. So whose powers was it? Because he's saying like father, brother, and
I don't
his
know
own
if I don't
daughter.
know if that is the spinal fluid of somebody. I know that they have to eat somebody to get the consciousness or Titan shifting ability. They'll just be a brain dead Titan if they have the serum. That's
Yeah,
why he's
but he
like
said that yeah, you still have to consume the spinal fluid to
she was talking
transform into
about
the.
his, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
how do you? I mean, like he consumed it, but he wasn't going to have her consume the vial. He was going to just direct intake into her, which I'm assuming like there's a slight difference in how this all works. Maybe she gets the because right now it's just been established that if you eat someone who has the Titan Shifter ability, you gain the Titan Shifter ability. I mean, that's what happened to Eren when he ate his own father. That's what happened to Ymir when she accidentally, like in Titan mode, ate not Connie, ate
Bertold and Reiner's
Bertold
friend.
Reiner's friend. So, like, what are the chances of that? That's kind of crazy. So it's like I imagine that she would just be, but then it begs the question: where did Aaron's dad get the ability? But like so I think the serum is just so that you get transformed in the Titan in the first place, and then they're just, immediately directed for the bloodlust of humans, and Aaron's right there on a pedestal waiting to be eaten, I suppose. Like, it's like, eat me. Like, I couldn't help but, like, chuckle when he said that. But,
Since he was in the position, I expected someone to, like, Levi kick him.
right.
Because of how much of a bitch he was being.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's crazy stuff. Like, I imagine that because, I don't know, like, it was a direct injection, but then he kind of lapped some up in his tongue. I don't know. Like, I guess just ingestion works too, apparently, maybe. I don't know. But who knows?
Yeah, I
if
wonder
he's...
what kind of Titan he'll be, because
I don't know if he will be. Like, his spine just kind of... It's like, half transformed mode over here. So maybe he just did that to cause chaos, and probably... I don't know. We'll see. It's speculation. We haven't, read the manga or anything. We're going off of just our anime-only reactions here. Gosh, anything else before we close this one out?
No, not really.
All right. Okay, guys, what did you think of the episode? It was crazy this time around. I mean, it's been rearing up and getting crazier all the time, so dang. But give us a like if you liked our review. Subscribe if you want to see more from us each week. We've got Attack on Titan. We've got Boku no Hero Academia. We're a little late on that one, but we'll be catching up soon. And Boruto and maybe one other thing. I can't remember off the top of my head. I keep saying that. Anyways, until next time, see ya.
Keep it juicy.
All right. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yo, like, I'm looking at thumbnails, and Rod Race basically just went into the Avatar state.
Oh, yeah, that moment.